Welcome back. We got test.
Something in the orange.
That's
Welcome to episode 34, right?
34.
Your
Welcome
thing
back.
says 33. Is it 34?
Well, it's 33 last time and I didn't update it. So welcome back to
Nice.
another episode of Undrafted
We're
Amateurs.
halfway to 68.
Look at you getting better at math every day. Every day. Growing up before my very own eyes.
You know what I want to jump into right now before we do anything?
Yeah,
because
dude.
I'm still
Tell me.
pissed off. We didn't do the day in history last
I know.
episode.
I was like, too much of Christian. Move on. So should we do 2 weeks? Let's do last week's.
Oh, you want to do last week's
Yeah.
too? Okay. Let me see if I
A
can
look
find it.
back on last week in history.
All right. Last week, I wanted to do a shout out to Willie Mays because August 17th, Willie Mays hits his 660th and last home run.
That is a good one.
660th.
Willie Mays, GOAT. Well, maybe not the GOAT, but a GOAT. Barry Bonds is the GOAT. We all know that.
Oh, also, the capital city of the U.S. was moved from Philadelphia to New York City in 1790. August 17th.
Sounds familiar, but maybe you just told me these before and we didn't record it. Well, maybe we did
I
record it.
screenshotted this
either
on
way.
August 15th, so
Wow.
there's no way.
Look at that. Leaving your hometown, the motherland of Philadelphia.
I thought you were saying More Than My Hometown by Morgan Wallen. That's a good album.
Sure it is.
But on this day, August 24th, right?
Yeah.
Right now, the first nonstop transcontinental helicopter arrived in Washington, D.C.
That's cool.
And then Jerry Rice, who we all know as the great wide receiver, he signed a one-day contract August 24th of 2006 with guess who? The San Francisco 49ers to officially retire from the NFL.
Those are some good ones.
I know.
It'll be fun because we're about to be in like football season because now this episode's coming out on Thursday. So we are in week 0 of college football, which means there's going to be football every weekend for the rest of the year.
And every single on this day will feature Joe Burrow from here on out.
Mm-hmm.
On this day, Joe Burrow led LSU to the first win under his...
On this day, Joe Burrow had his first NFL bye week. On this day, Joe Burrow
had his first interception.
caught his first NFL snap.
On this day, Joe Burrow threw for his 8th interception.
Actually, because of the way days work, he's probably not been in the league that long that a lot of them will overlap. know what I
Especially
mean?
because we're doing Thursdays.
Yeah, so it's probably what? Days moved back?
Yeah,
Maybe it'd be 1 or 2.
maybe. Probably
Maybe.
not, to be honest.
Stupid idea. He caught his 43rd practice snap after week 2's game. You see? Still have potential.
Anyways, to move on, we played golf together on Friday, last
did.
Friday, and it was a duel for the first 12 holes.
Before my epic melt.
And then Joe melted like ice cream in a sauna. I mean, Joe melted. He folded.
It was like ice cream in a microwave, let's be honest.
Yeah.
A sauna's not hot enough.
Oh, it was like
Yeah.
in a 450 oven.
On broil, high. Broil on high.
Good
The ice
broil.
cream's getting toasty. It's a little crunchy.
Oh, it's definitely melted. There's no way it's crunchy. But anyway, me and Joe were playing golf, and he played really well the front 9. Actually beat me by 1 on the front 9, and then just absolutely proceeded to lose it.
Yeah, no big deal, but I managed to shoot 10 strokes higher on the back than I did in the front, which is pretty good. Pretty good, right?
The old
A
40-50.
good old 40 on the front, 50 on the back. Love it.
You know what's weird? A lot of players who have been playing for just a couple years do that a lot. They'll do 42 on the front, and then they'll shoot 48.
That makes me feel better because I do that all
A
the
lot
time.
of people do that.
Because
yeah.
the consistency is just not even close to there.
Dude, you have to be pretty good to hold it together for 18. And that's why I say 9 is you can kind of string together 9 holes.
Yeah.
But 18 is a whole different level.
Well said.
Thanks,
You
man.
want to be my coach?
Dude, I think I could lower. I could have taken.
Could have done taken?
I could have taken probably 5 or 6 strokes off your back.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Steve, we were playing with one of our friends, Steve, and he was saying afterwards that you should be my coach because you're telling me to get a little hips into my drive. Maybe I can get a little distance on my drives one day.
Dude, yes.
That'd be kind of nice.
Because you just take it back and you don't move like your lower body at all until the downswing, which works because you're strong enough.
But maybe I'll get over 200 yards at one point.
Wow, because you're only driving at like 180.
180 on a good day.
Yeah. So that was fun.
Maybe if I keep my front elbow in.
Yeah, back elbow.
Nope, front elbow. Anyway.
Anyways.
One day I'm going to be consistent. All cheers to you.
Cheers, man.
All cheers.
Also, can we talk about pet peeves since we're doing that?
Yeah, because in this topic, it's just, we have the mic. It's a very dangerous thing. We can talk about whatever we want.
When you're making the turn after 9 and they don't have pork missiles available.
What if they only have junior ones?
But they're the full size.
But they're bigger than the full size, and they've got like a loaf of bread around them.
Dude, shout out.
And they're like, we're talking thick pork missiles.
I was so pissed off. We waited, 25, 30 minutes?
Yeah, at least. I mean, that's probably why I sucked in the back. Let's be honest.
Yeah. It pissed me off, dude. Yeah, I was trying to stay patient. And then, of course, my first drive was so far left.
You recovered, though.
I got lucky.
And then I missed an awful putt. Or like, you know which one I'm talking about there.
Oh, when I made the 8-footer and you missed
like
the
a 4-footer. And because all day before, I'd been putting pretty well and you'd been putting horribly.
You were up one. So somehow you had a great drive and I had an awful drive and I somehow hit the green and you hit the green. And then I 2-putt, you 3-putt, right?
It was all downhill from there.
And then we tied somehow. Yeah. All downhill from there. That's a pet peeve though. Like if you're going to have a golf course, at least have nabs, like crackers, and hot dogs ready.
Like, honestly, if I had a golf course, I would have pork missiles that I carry around with people and talking about like, here's a pocket dog. Here's a pocket dog.
Yeah.
Like, because do you really need to wait till after 9? Yeah, exactly. Everyone knows that would make golf better. Let's make golf great.
Yeah, by more pork missiles and more par 3s.
And more available pork missiles. That's the big piece there.
And less expensive.
So today, topic-wise, we're going to talk a little bit about the Ryder Cup, and then we're talking a little bit about fantasy, which we can't give away too much because we're in leagues with a lot of you fools that are listening to us.
And we're in a league together.
So it's going to be a shorter episode, but that's a little bit what we got coming up. But without further ado, the Ryder Cup.
So probably my favorite golf event, definitely outside the majors, is the Ryder Cup.
Even above the FedEx Cup?
Oh, the FedEx Cup's so dumb. Which, speaking of FedEx Cup, Victor Hovland winning the BMW was disgusting. He shot the course record on a Sunday in contention. Disgusting. Right? So shout out Vic Dog.
But he's going to suck in the Ryder Cup because he's not American.
He's going to be disgusting in the Ryder Cup. Anyway, so U.S., we got Scotty Scheffler, so 6 people have automatically qualified, and then there's 6 more captain's picks.
Yep.
So Scotty Scheffler, 1, bang. Wyndham Clark, 2, bang. I think it's Cantlay, and then I think it's Harmon, Homa, Schauffele, or somewhere in that order.
Okay.
But those are the 6. First of all, so excited to see Max Homa, one of us, I feel like.
Yes.
Schauffele, pretty solid as well. Scheffler, no doubt.
Boringly
but freaking
consistent.
having Clark, who's a rookie. No, he's been playing well. And then Harmon, I mean, he did win the Open. And then here's the worst part. Patrick Cantlay, who's becoming my least favorite golfer. Slowly but surely. No pun intended.
As bad as Patrick Reed?
Yeah. Probably not.
Probably not. But getting back.
Dude, but he plays so slow and it pisses me off so
Okay, well
much.
That is a great transition to who do we think the captain's picks would be? Because Brooks obviously
has to be Brooks.
It's got to be.
It's got to be.
But then there's the whole how does Liv fit in? You can't not pick him. I saw like Scotty Scheffler and I can't remember who else it said was in favor of him. I'm like, yeah, do you want to win? You need him on the team. But it'll be interesting because he's complained a lot about Patrick Cantlay and how slow he is.
Correct.
So that
they
could be
won't play together.
The analytics department's gonna be like, that doesn't work.
But I will say this, man. Brooks Koepka finished 7th in the FedEx Cup rankings and played 4 events. 4. He played the majors.
I think he's the best golfer in the world right now.
I mean, it's tough to argue that, you know? I mean, playing 4 events and finishing 7th in FedEx Cup points. Like, think about that. The other guys played 20.
Yeah.
Like,
that's what I'm saying.
That's insane. Obviously, the majors are weighted more. Like,
but still,
he finished 2nd in the Masters, and then he won the PGA. So, nuts.
Absolutely.
And then on the European side, you have Rory McIlroy.
Nailed it.
He's an absolute animal. John Rahm and Victor Hovland, which those are 3 studs right there. Are you kidding me? I mean, Roy,
which back
John,
to Brooks. This is
Victor,
why you need Brooksy on the team.
We have 3 rookies. We have Clark, Cantlay, I believe, is a rookie, and then Harman. Or no, Homa is the rookie. Harman's a rookie.
But Homa's a stud. Big Homa guy.
Yeah, but 3 out of 6 rookies, man. Like, so they were thinking about picking some vets because of that, like a Jordan Spieth or you can. Dude, they even throw out Justin Thomas, but there's no way. Like, he didn't even make the top 70. Like, come on, we can't.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's not been playing that well this year.
But Europe, we haven't won in Europe, man, in 30 years, I think.
It was like 91. Is that right?
Yeah, 30 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? 32
No,
years.
32 years.
We haven't won. And Americans have typically dominated golf.
Yeah.
But I will say this. It's one country, the United States, versus Europe.
An entire continent.
Yeah.
Idiots. I've always thought that's kind of ridiculous if you think about it.
And somehow it's always close, though.
But it is kind of ridiculous. Like, why can't it be? Are there any good Canadian or sponsor us? Are there any good Canadian or
Mexican? That one Canadian guy. He won the Canadian Open.
I don't know.
He was from Canada. Not Weir. Weir was a good golfer, but not him. It's gonna piss me off. Mexico, they're not really, to be honest. I mean, there's a couple decent Mexican golfers.
So I guess it really wouldn't change that much if it was North America versus Europe. Well, while you're looking that up, I think it's interesting because I was listening to Max Homa talk about it, and I guess they can kind of like request pairings and stuff, but they have like statisticians that are just like poring over the analytics and figuring out what the best pairings of stuff are, which is pretty cool.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that is cool. Oh, Corey Connors.
Yeah, but what's his world ranking right now?
31st on the PGA Tour.
Okay.
So he's solid, but he wouldn't be,
Wouldn't make the cut.
He is in the Tour Championship, though.
Anyway, anything else you want to say about the Ryder Cup?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. That's nice. Should we mix this episode flow up a little bit and just go straight to Florida Man now?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. We'll do that, and then we're going to come back with the draft, and then
Florida
we'll talk
Man,
about
draft, fantasy,
because the draft's going to be about fantasy, so it'll tee us up. All right, you ready?
Mm-hmm. Coming from the ceiling? This is sick.
Story number 1. Florida man hospitalized with third-degree burns following incident with homemade flamethrower. In an attempt to solve a mole issue in his backyard, a Florida man found himself with a far greater issue. In an ill-conceived plan to remove the moles, the man constructed a homemade flamethrower from an electric fuel transfer pump, a gas can, a garden hose, duct tape, and a butane lighter. After successfully testing the flamethrower on the ground, the man picked up his contraption to rid his lawn of the pesky moles. When the man lit the flamethrower a second time, the device exploded into flames, causing severe burns along the right side of the man's body. The man was rushed to HCA Memorial Hospital, where he is currently recovering. Story number 2. Naked Florida man starts house fire while baking cookies on George Foreman grill. While responding to a house fire, both police officers and firefighters were faced with a rather unusual situation. Upon arriving on scene, they observed smoke coming from within the residence. To their surprise, a naked Florida man opened the door, told them that he was sorry, and closed the door. Despite things being on fire, the man was unaware he was in any danger. When police finally removed the man for his safety, they learned the man, who admitted to drinking 2 liters of vodka and smoking marijuana, had accidentally started the fire while attempting to bake cookies on a George Foreman grill.
Who was that?
Artificial intelligence. Did you listen at all? Do I need to play him again?
I didn't really listen much, but I heard the first few sentences to know story number 1 is false, 2 is true.
That's right. What was the giveaway? What's the tell? I was like, maybe there's something in me reading it.
I didn't even listen.
So you didn't even listen to the first few stories?
I didn't listen to really either one. I just thought story 2 is something that I would do.
Is that a win for you?
What do you mean?
Like relating
you know.
yourself to a Florida man, and that's how your gut solves the problem. Is this a good thing here?
I'll tell you what, man. I could definitely imagine myself drinking cold beers and then cooking cookies, baking cookies on a grill.
I just thought, yeah, I mean, it makes sense. I thought you were going to think that one's fake because of like the Michael Scott trying to wake up to the smell of bacon cooking on his George Foreman grill.
I don't even remember that episode.
Oh, plus I got a little boxing glove right there signed by George Foreman III. Thought you might get a, anyway, whatever. Ridiculous.
You're going so deep into this. Like, yeah, I had no idea.
Well, no, I mean, I just had it. I'm like, because in the past you're like, guitar, that one's fake because you knew that I was subconsciously looking for a guitar.
Dude, can we just admit I'm better? Let's just admit it.
Dang. I mean, that's a good story, though. Hospitalized with 3rd-degree burns from you, making a homemade flamethrower to get rid of moles in the backyard.
I just won 2 in a row, dude.
Dude, congratulations. I think that's now, because I was up 3 and it was parallel. We were just alternating, so now it's, I guess,
I
a
don't
1.
think you're up 3.
Do you not remember when you
No.
debated it and then we had a video?
No, because but that was true. But then I kept having to do it because you kept guessing right, and then we switched to where we.
Yeah, and sucks.
You definitely had the advantage.
Sucks.
All right, whatever, dog. But yeah, suck on those nuts.
Dang.
Next.
AI wouldn't even trick you.
Nope.
Draft time.
All right, who's going first? Me?
I'm first. You always think it's you.
It's
every
me.
time.
I'll go first.
You're not. Nope. It's an even episode.
Go.
I'm going first. Who's first? Me? Let's go. All right. So what we're doing for the draft is it's like a top player. So obviously if I pick number 1 overall and that's yours, sucks. But one of the best players you want on your team, a sleeper, a fade, a rookie, and a comeback. In your order. Same as some of the last models of drafts we've done. So top player for me, easy, first pick, C-Mac.
Yeah, that's fair. Especially in a PPR league.
Yeah, and plus with being on the 49ers where he's not going to get used and abused in the same way he did at Carolina, done, easy.
Yeah. My top player is going to surprise people, Jamar Chase. Picking him over Justin Jefferson, wide receiver, just because my guy Joe Burrow is about to freak the league.
I was about to say, why does that surprise people? Everyone's like, no.
Well, because Justin Jefferson should be, theoretically, but...
Right, but it doesn't surprise anyone who's ever heard you talk
But
about
Jamar
Joe
Chase is disgusting as a wide receiver. And that connection he has with Joe Burrow is, might I say, divine? I don't know.
That's a good point there. Okay, I'm going to do... You know what? I'm going to go comeback next. To me, this is an easy one. He's ranked high, so people can say whatever, but Cooper Kupp. He obviously last year with injuries was underwhelming, but I think he's going to be back and it's going to be no surprise. But like he's just like the obvious comeback player. Are you saying it doesn't count?
Wait, you're doing comeback now?
Yeah.
He was the number 1 wide receiver for the first 12 weeks.
Then he got hurt. He's coming back from an injury. All right, I won't it's fair if you're like that doesn't count that much. But I mean, I feel like he's coming back from an injury. He had a down season, like objectively, he screwed people over in the playoffs because he wasn't there. So
That's fine. I think that's an awful pick.
it's not a sleeper.
You said comeback? He had a phenomenal season last year.
He
until
did
got
it.
hurt.
Well, until he got hurt though.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So my sleeper is going to be...
Also, it's not a sleeper. They're
No, you
different.
said comeback.
Yeah, but I'm saying...
He just had an unbelievable... he's coming off a great season before he got injured.
Yeah, but if you look at it, including... the injury does factor into it. But
Right,
I'll give another one. If
No, don't change it because of me.
I'm saying,
All right.
I understand.
Sleeper, Keontae Ingram, the backup running back for the Arizona Cardinals. Why do I say that? Because James Connors, who's a solid running back...
James Conner.
is never, ever healthy.
That is fair. He's a big back too.
He is. So I feel like Keontae Ingram will come in and just spice some things up. I think he's a big sleeper pick.
Okay.
And he's young too.
That's a good pick. All right. There are two. Oh, rookie Bijan. That's easy to me. Honestly, there are a couple of wide receivers I think are going to be nasty, but Bijan to me is going to be like the top rookie.
I'm going to go rookie because I'm feeling rookie, and that is my guy, Jalen Carter, with the Philadelphia Eagles. They're already saying he should have been the number 1 pick. The season hadn't even started.
So, totally with you. How many leagues are you in where you actually pick defensive players?
Oh, that's true. I forgot.
I mean, go for it if you want.
No, it's a good point. All right, this is an easy. So I'm going to go with rookie as well because we got to throw it back to my hometown, Carolina Panthers, Bryce Young. I think from a fantasy perspective, Bryce Young's going to rush for a decent amount of yards, have a few rushing TDs in there as well as some passing tutties.
Yep.
And be overall a solid, I think QB2 for your fantasy team.
Interesting. Okay. I like
someone
that.
you play depending on the matchup.
Yep. So I'm going to fade Miles Sanders. Keep it in Carolina.
I like that. Yeah.
Here's my thought with it. He was inconsistent last year. Learned that on several parlays. He's also he's inconsistent with all the weapons that they had there, like
Correct.
the offensive line. You're not going to have that at Carolina. Then Carolina's running back room is more crowded than it looks. Like Chuba Hubbard is nasty. And then, plus he's not like the best blocking back. And I think that Bryce Young's going to need that. Whereas I forget who they have, but someone else who's like pretty solid in pass blocking. So all in all, I think he's slated as like running back 19 right now. And I don't think he's going to
top 30.
Yeah.
I agree. I actually agree with you on that one. Fade for me. I have 2 fades.
Okay.
Can I do 2?
Well, do one and then
as much as
because I want to talk about each section for fantasy.
As much as I hate to say fade this person, Mike Evans.
Interesting.
And the reason I'm fading Mike Evans, especially compared to where people have him projected, like he was a beast last year, but guess what?
Keenan Allen and Quentin Johnston.
He also had Tom Brady, and now he has Baker Mayfield.
Sorry, I'm thinking Mike Williams, dude.
No, Mike Evans.
Mike Evans.
So, to be honest, I love Baker as a person. I love his commercials. I saw what he did in Carolina, and it was just enough for me to realize that I think I could have been the quarterback in Carolina.
I mean, I can throw pass deflections at the line.
I know, that's what I'm saying. So I just think Mike Evans is going to get shut down, to be honest.
Honestly, that's a pretty good pick. I like that. I don't like agreeing with you, but I like that. So you have your comeback left, and I've got my fade. No, I did my fade. I've got my sleeper pick.
You better go.
I'm going to go Romeo Doubs. Don't grab my hand. I think...
Romeo, take me somewhere we can be alone. I'll be waiting.
That was nice.
That was nice.
That was nice. So Christian Watson, I think obviously he's going to be wide receiver 1 in Green Bay. I think he's going to have a great season. I think Romeo Doubs is going to step up big time as the second wide receiver.
Oh, okay.
I know they drafted one, but especially in the slot, I think they're going to be running a lot more with, I mean, obviously they still have AJ Dillon and Aaron Jones. And so I think they're going to be running and some quick passes to Romeo Doubs in the slot. I think he's going to be a good sleeper this year.
Yeah.
So I think he's right now on the depth chart, wide receiver 3, but we'll see.
I think it'd be nice to get Rodgers out of Green Bay. Great run, but just time for something else.
Yeah. And I think I've gone on record saying that Jordan Love looked pretty good
solid.
last year.
He did.
So we'll see.
Come back for me. This should come to no surprise because it is by far the number 1 comeback story of the season, and that is Odell Beckham Jr. going to the Ravens. Him and Lamar are going to be BFFs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in between his flashiness, Odell's flashiness,
his purple hair,
Lamar's legs, they're going to extend plays.
And Zay Flowers.
Yeah. Dude, Baltimore's going to be disgusting this
They
year.
got a good running back room. I think they're going to be nasty, dude.
So, comeback player of the year, Odell Beckham.
I was thinking we can just go through and talk about other picks in each category. So I've got some other ones I wanted to talk about where Deebo Samuel's a comeback. He had a pretty good season last year, but I think he's going to go off this year too. I think him and McCaffrey are just going to have a day in San Francisco.
If Purdy plays well, I agree. So I'm going to say Purdy plays well.
Purdy plays well. And like he's even been on record saying a few times that he was disappointed with the way that he played last year. And, Deebo Samuel. And he like, Purdy. He's like, no, Purdy, I just exceeded every expectation. And I'm kind of bummed about it.
And I was pissed.
So that was another comeback that I had, which you can argue at number 4, Cooper Kupp doesn't count. But again, he's injured. He's coming back from an injury. It's take it however you want to take it. That's how I'm taking it.
That's fair, man. That's fair. I mean, Matthew Stafford's a monster QB. Or I mean, Jared Goff is a monster QB.
Any other comebacks that you had?
Who did I have? Not comebacks. I did have another fade in Dak Prescott, but it's just because I always fade Dak Prescott.
That's who you wanted to go there.
I mean,
I was going to say along those lines, the easiest fade of all is Trevor Lawrence because let's be honest, he sucks. He's terrible. One of the worst quarterbacks that's ever been out there.
He sucks.
Besides Deshaun Watson, who's a perv and sucks. But along the lines, keep it in the Clemson fam. T. Higgins, I think he could be another fade.
Fade T. Higgins. You're drunk.
Let me tell you why.
Here we go.
You want to know why?
No.
Already had a lot of injuries.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's declining. He's never been like the fastest or the most athletic player. And then with these injuries, I think he's going to like still struggle coming into this next year. I think Jamar Chase is going to go off again this year. Cause you know how it's kind of like almost the sophomore slump last year.
Yeah.
I think he's going to go off more, and T. Higgins is going to be there. I think Boyd's going to step up more too into like the wide receiver number 2 in terms of like fantasy points.
Okay, yeah.
So it's not going to be anything to do with Joe Burrow's performance because obviously he's a beast. But I just don't think T. Higgins, I think right now he's wide receiver number 13. Is that right?
Yeah. Give or take.
Give or take. And I just don't think that he's there.
Hey, that's
if
fair.
that makes sense. So that's why I would fade him. I'm not saying like don't have him on your team, but I don't think he's as good as people think.
Also, I love Christian Watson.
I do too. I love Jordan Love, Christian Watson.
Yeah.
I think they could be another Devontae and then Aaron Rodgers.
I'm leery about Kupp. Not because of the injury, but just because with our guys getting a little old over there. Matthew Staff.
Mm-hmm.
And plus, like, their coach almost just retired.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I mean, Kupp's an absolute animal. I just don't know if he's going to be a top 5 wide receiver. Top 3.
I don't think I would put him.
Top 3.
I would go Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase.
You go Tyreek Hill?
Yeah. No, probably not Tyreek Hill, just because I'm not sure about Tua.
Yeah, true.
I would go Travis Kelce over him, though.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Throwing that out there.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I would love to go Devontae Adams, but Jimmy G's just not going to do it for me.
Yeah, I know.
So.
Well, I mean, who knows? Maybe he'll have a good year.
I mean, he's still going to be top 6 receivers. Okay, couple things that I'm excited about. This isn't necessarily player-wise, but team, so I guess it's affecting it. But the Chargers, I'm really curious to see Justin Herbert especially, Austin Eckler.
Yep.
Right now, I would put him in the top 3 picks in any fantasy draft. Such a good dual threat. But then you've got Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, hopefully will be healthy the whole year, and then Quentin Johnston. So you've got 3 big receivers where Justin Herbert only had 1 for a lot of the past year, plus Austin Eckler. It could be, I mean, they could be a high-powered offense. Chiefs, as always, I'm curious just to see what happens with the receivers, like who steps up, really.
Yeah, who do they have? So
You know, I mean,
Kelsey, but besides
Kelsey's obviously
yeah.
wide receiver 1, and then Valdez Scantling, and who else?
I'm surprised we don't see Johnson on here. Quentin Johnson.
I think he is. Oh yeah, not in the top 100.
I always think Keenan Allen's overrated too.
Really?
I don't know. I've just never liked him.
I've always liked him. Just to be contrarian.
I will say I'm excited, of course, for the Jets. I'm excited to see what the Jets do. I'm excited to see what my guy Garrett Wilson does, wide receiver, because he got so many targets last year.
Yep.
So I mean, between him and Rodgers, he could be a top 5 wide receiver.
And then
year.
they got Alan Lazard came over too. So
Dude, I'm telling you what, though,
Dalvin
man.
Cook, they could be really good.
Dalvin Cook is interesting. That is
Also up there in the Northeast a little bit, the Ravens. Like we've already talked about a lot, but I think that they're going to have a really good passing game that's going to shock people.
yeah.
Maybe not shock people because like you look at the weapons there and you're like, okay, that could be something. But I think people still are biased towards Lamar Jackson, not thinking that he can air it out.
Right. Yeah, you can almost feel the tide turning a little bit in the NFL with some. Dude, I just hope the Jets. I hope they make the playoffs just for Jets fans.
I think the Jets will make the playoffs.
They had a great defense last year. Defense looks good this year. I'm telling you what, man, I'm going to go on record. I should have picked this as like a sleeper pick, technically. I really think Garrett Wilson's going to be a top 5 wide receiver.
Interesting.
I think Rodgers is going to play well this year. I think he's motivated. I think he's got a new like energy in him. And dude, Garrett Wilson, I forgot, but the last 6 games or something, he averaged like 13 targets.
Yep.
So, like, I don't think it's going to go down with Rodgers. I just think he's going to be more accurate than our boy Wilson was. And so, I don't know. I'm predicting a big season there.
Yeah. Because Rodgers has always been able to, I feel like, have that wide receiver 1 that still gets a bunch of targets. Like, I don't know how he mixes it up and
Dude,
does
him
it, but
and
he still gets
Devontae
it.
Adams.
Yeah. And so.
That was disgusting.
Disgusting.
Yeah. And lastly, I'll say, I got to say, shout out A.J. Brown and the Eagles. They're saying his offseason has been unbelievable. He's gotten even faster. And so he apparently is looking very good, according to Saravani.
It'll be interesting seeing what his targets
It'll
look
be
like
interesting
this
to see
year.
Jalen Hurts' sophomore season. I mean, his 3rd season.
Yeah.
But coming off a season, going to the Super Bowl, like, you know, a huge season that he had, it'll be interesting how he like bounces back from that. Like, does he keep at that same level, or teams now going to game plan with the run and do different things because they have a whole off season now? Who knows?
I like it. Other ones, Calvin Ridley. What do you think his bounce back will be? You see, I would love to put him as a comeback, but he's got, you know who throwing to him. What are you supposed to do when you only have Trevor Lawrence?
I think Calvin Ridley's going to be really solid. I mean, who else the Jags have?
They've got Christian Kirk.
Yeah, who's decent, not bad.
He's solid. Ingram at
Jaguars
tight end. It's going to be really nice. But other ones, DJ Moore, I think is going to have a really good season this year.
Oh, with Chicago?
Yeah, I think
so?
Justin Fields, between what he's going to do on his legs and being able to throw it to DJ Moore, is going to be nice because DJ Moore looked good with all 3 or 4, however many people were in the revolving door of quarterbacks for Carolina last year. So it's going to be nice.
Yeah, I think DJ Moore is an absolute animal. And we get... Did you watch that video I sent, the YouTube video about like the picks and the analysis and the bias and stuff? Did you ever watch that?
I didn't.
Dude, you got to watch it because it's like talking about like the value of picks and that different, like that type of stuff.
Yeah.
And pretty much saying that the last 10 times someone has traded up to a top 5 pick to pick a quarterback, the last 10 times, 8 of them were complete bust. One of them was Michael Vick. So for a few years, pretty solid, like, you know.
Very solid.
And then one of them was, I forgot who the other, like wasn't a bust, but wasn't like, you know, a great quarterback. Was it Andrew Luck? Did the Colts trade up?
I don't remember if they traded up.
But anyway, statistically, this was an awful trade for the Panthers.
We'll see.
Yeah,
Only time will tell.
We'll see. But dude, that 80% of the time it's a bust. Like that's a bold call. Especially when you don't know who you're gonna get. Like they
Yeah, but I mean, it depends. That's the way every draft pick are. Like you can analyze picks and it can show you information like that. Like you can keep DJ Moore, and then what's the upside of that? If you have no one to throw to him, he's just gonna like you can't build off of a really good receiver that's not like a top one. Like,
but it was talking about like because GMs in the NFL, the average tenure is like 2.5 years.
Yeah.
So it was talking about like especially with GMs and owners are old. Right? Typically owners of teams are like 70s and they want to win now. They don't want to build for 10 years from now. And GMs the same way. GMs and owners do not want to build for the future. They want to build for the next like 1 to 5 years.
yeah.
So it's pretty interesting, like the bias of that though. And like when I watched the video and just like the mathematics behind it, because theoretically you're like, hey, let's just trade away our number 1 draft pick every year for like 2 2s and a 3, right? And just like keep doing it. And then after 5 to 7 years, like be absolutely loaded. But statistically, that's the better play. But owners and GMs want to win the next 3 years.
Peace.